What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Well, glad to be here today. Listen, I wanted to just test out my audio and to make sure I have my tablet here. And I'm like, yo, I feel like so discombobulated. Wait, welcome, everybody. Come on in. Come on in when you get a chance. Come on in. Let me just see if I am actually on and live. Welcome on YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see you. Please do me a favor. Shout out where you coming in from. And let me see. I want to make sure that I can put stuff up on the screen. All right, cool. All right. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Let me see. Just waiting to see. It didn't come to my tablet yet. Rather than I'm on live, and I want to make sure that this is shared in public. All right. So let me check YouTube really quick. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little discombobulated today, only because I've been doing a lot of stuff, running around like a chicken with his head cut off. But let me check YouTube really quickly. Dun, 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 dun. All right, here we go. I see it just came up. All right, cool. Very, very good. Very good. What's up, y'all? So today we're talking dreams. Come on in. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. So glad to see you come in. Rather on Facebook, rather on YouTube. Just trying to get it all together, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in, everybody. Welcome on in. And okay, good. We're talking dreams, whether you know it or not. What's up? Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Shout out where you're coming from and where you're calling in from. I'm just sort of getting my audio and my video together at the same time, too. How unprofessional of me. How unprofessional. Hope that you're coming in. If you're on YouTube, like and share your page. If you're on Facebook, leave a comment. Let me know what's what. I got something really, really good for you. And for some reason, my tablet want to be acting up. I don't know why I want to be acting up today, but it's so good. All right, cool. I know that it's in. There we go. The live section. Bang, bang. What's up, everybody? Somebody just came and they left. And it's totally fine. Don't know why everything is acting crazy on me all of a sudden. Okay, cool. I don't see where anything is live on my YouTube channel. It's not coming up at all. All right, cool. Well, let me see how are we on Facebook. Okay, I'm not seeing anything live on Facebook either. Nothing is on. All right. What's up, everybody? Do me a favor. Shout out where you're coming in from. I want to talk about dreams today. It's so funny because not too long ago, I had the privilege of going around and interviewing people randomly, and to ask them, listen, what age do you think a person should be able to pursue a dream that they've once had? Before we get into all of that, like I said, shout out where you're coming from. And I don't see any notifications for some reason on my, okay, I see. All right, cool. It just got to me, everybody. It just got to me. So I just want to make sure that everything is everything. And I want to make sure that everything is going public, because who want to go live and nobody's public? You know what I'm saying? Good to see you, whoever you are. I see that there's one person that's on. Good to see you. Glad to see you. I don't care how many people that are on, following you back, seeing what's up. Okay, good. Now let me just make sure that everything is public. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. Let me make sure that everybody's able to see this. All right, cool. All right. There we go. There we go. Good to see you. Let me know where you're coming in from. All right. I know it took me a little while to get started and stuff like that, but yo, listen, we here. We here. And it is a wonderful, wonderful Friday. I'm glad to be on. Glad to be here with you. So look, let's get into it. And I know that for those of you who will be on, you're going to definitely, chime in, rather than from YouTube, rather than from Facebook. And don't worry, I will give you the edit version of this episode and of this presentation. All right. So look, what are your dreams like? A lot of people have dreams, but I think that one of the things that this world have lacked for a very, very long time, since digitization, could I say it like that? Digitization, since this digital world, a lot of people lack what we call imagination. And I think that's the problem with some of us. Like, I'll never forget that before we had these wireless gadgets and all of these things, I remember the days that we would go to a studio. My boy John Arrington, my boy Dave Quinones. We had poets claiming props. Uh, Scooch, what's up, my dudes? And I'll never ever forget those days where we're at the studio. But when we came home, the one thing we had was imagination. We will always fantasize about what it's going to be like when we get there the next time. And you know what else is funny? You know, we understood that there was something that we had to fulfill when we got there. It was an excitement about it. You know, today we have people, all they got to do is go right on their phones, and guess what? They get famous right away. So there's no need to go through any distributor, any type of A&R, any type of anybody. You know, they're going big. They're going big right there in their living room. And I say that that's one of the biggest privileges anybody could have. You know, and I want to make sure that I'm heard really really good. To see. All right, cool. I want to make sure I hit. You know, that's a good privilege. And so, but there are people who are in this world who's afraid. They're very very afraid to, you know, follow their dreams because either they feel like, well, it's too much responsibility that I have to uphold. I have a family now. You know, maybe I've lived my life too fast, too early, that now no longer afford me to be able to pursue some stuff that I wanted to do. You know, maybe life have happened as to where I had to fast forward my life, and some people have had children earlier in, and they had to now sort of kind of like forget their lives and still be young at the same time by trying to pursue some things that they wanted that could have, to some degree, messed up a dream that they've had or messed up the momentum of that particular dream. So I believe that it's never too late to pursue anything. You know, that's how I believe. You know, do me a favor, tell me exactly what you believe in the comment. You know, I don't believe anybody that there should be a problem with pursuing a dream at any God given age. It's just that now that you have to prioritize on what that look like, you have to prioritize on what that look like for you, and how will that come into fruition. You know, have a conversation even with your family sometime. Have a conversation with your spouse. Have a conversation with the children, whatever the case may be. You know, because obviously, you know, you yourself, you have a life as well. And as you can see, I'm fidgeting with this microphone, you know, but you have a life as well. Do me a favor. Do you have big dreams? And here's the question of the day. You know, do you have big dreams? And if you do have big dreams, what dream do you have that you keep putting off? Because a lot of times people, they put off dreams, you know, they put off their idea, they put off their vision for other things. And of course, in life, you might have your kids, you might have your spouse, you might have an occupation that demands a lot from you, you know. And I oftentimes said, if you have a secular job, you should allow for your secular job to fund your big dream. And we do understand that, like, dreams, it takes a while for greatness to come into fruition, you know, because anything cooked too fast is not done. Excuse me. I know y'all like, you know, anything cooked too fast is not done. You know, it's only cooked on the outside and raw on the inside. You don't ever want your dreams. You don't ever want your ideas or your vision to ever become something that's raw, you know, and it's, you know, it's only, it looks good as it's presented, but then the more and more you go deeper into it, all of a sudden it's like, wow, it's not even cooked all the way through. And that's exactly what we want. We want for things to be, we want it to be cooked all the way through. You know, I oftentimes tell people all I want is stuff that's well done. You know, I want it well done, you know, and I want it to be cooked. So let's take a look at this real quick. I wanted to share with you, um, you know, my screen, and let's do it this way. Bang, here we go. So this is one of the reasons why people don't want to follow their dreams. The reason why that people don't want to pursue their dreams. And it's called fear of failure. You know, rather you not know it or not, there's some people who would rather not um pursue their dreams and know if they could fail or not, right? They're like, no, I'd rather not do it, you know, and not find out that I'm not good enough. Because if my dream failed, or if it failed the first time, it feels to me that I'm not good enough for anything if I failed the situation. But the question I have for you is that if it doesn't work the first time, how many times have you made the attempt at it? Because sometimes when you believe stuff, you know, believe me, to believe something means to accept it's true. And that means you don't have any room to accept that it's not true, or that it's going to fail, that it's not, you know, worthy enough to pursue. And nobody want to talk about you because they think dreams are corny, right? They think visions are corny, but there are people who are out there in this world today who are still opening up their own businesses. There are people who are still writing their own books. There are people who are still working on their album. There are people who are still pursuing their acting career. There are people who are still becoming lawyers, judges. People are still pursuing their dreams, even in a saturated world, And the reason why a lot of times people have failure or fear of failure is because they give themselves an existential anxiety. You already made up in your mind how it's going to look at the end before you even get started. You don't want to do that. You feel what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I'd rather have somebody tell me no rather than not ask and to find out that I could have. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes people have fear of failure because they don't want to feel like that they're not good enough if it doesn't go well. Fear of success. And rather you know or not, there might be people who fear that their success will go wrong, but you've never heard a lot of people who have fear of success. Having fear of success simply means this, that I don't want to pursue anything and have that kind of responsibility on me. What if it works out and I really didn't prepare for it to work out? Maybe I only had the first beginning of the idea, maybe I only had the intro of it and I just ran with the intro, but everybody can have fear. Everybody will fear certain things, but fear of success is a thing. It's a common thing, rather you know it or not, because some people will believe that, listen, I think succeed for success, I guess the fear of success is worse than failure, and I'm going to say it again. The fear of success sometimes can become worse than failure itself, So some people are afraid that they might not have enough, people might say certain things about them, you're successful, but do I have what it takes to stay at the top? And can I tell you what it's going to take to stay at the top? It's really, really simple. Well, what's your success story is the question. Because if you don't have a success story, you know what success is? It's not making it to the top. Success is your journey on the way to the top. That's all it is. That's what success is. Your journey on the way to the top. What have you done? What were your first steps? What's the 10th step? What's the 150th step? On the way to success, And so the steps that you take, and I like Bobby Brown, he said, every little step I take, right? The step that you take, each step that you take will prepare you for the next. That by the time you get to the top, if you didn't skip a step, you will remain there because your storyline prepared you to obtain the success muscle to stay at the top. You know what I'm saying? That's the story. Every step will allow for you to obtain bigger muscles. You get what I'm saying? In order that you stay at the top. If you're getting value, do me a favor, let me know in the comments that you're getting value. I see I have no comments here, but I am not afraid to put comments up because that's an existential thing, And listen, I had the privilege of going around and asking people, what age do they think a person should be in order that they are able to chase after a dream, And before I even show you my first clip, I wanted to share with you something that Bishop Noel Jones had said to Will Smith when he went to his house. Bishop Noel Jones went to Will Smith's house, went into got into the vestibule, went down this long hallway to the living room, and all of a sudden, before Bishop Jones was able to sit down, Will Smith pressed the button and a wall opened up. And that wall led to another hallway where you had the man cave, and then you had the basketball court, then you had the the movie theater, you had the pool table on another room. And I tell you, Bishop was like, yo, what in the world? Yo, Will Smith, where did you get this from? He says, oh man, Bishop, I've seen this since I was 5 years old, And again, so sometimes you can't put away your dreams because your dream can become a reality depending upon how much you believe it, how much you accept it to be true. You feel what I'm saying? So listen, I'm going to show you this clip real quick. And I mean, really honestly, y'all, there's a young lady, her name is Sophia. and I want you to see what she had to say about pursuing dreams. As my sons in them would say, "What's up, gang?" I ain't in no gang. Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey, can I ask you a question? And I was gonna ask you. So, like, here's the other thing I want to ask you, right? What age do you think a person should be to be able to have a dream to chase after?
18.
18 at least.
18.
Okay, cool. Why 18 though? You can say something. Come on, sis.
I don't want to be in
Alright.
that's when your life is like building up.
Got you.
That's
And
when
you
you
can
gotta
also
build.
save the finances and stuff like that for that.
Exactly.
So one last question, all right?
Oh.
What dream do you have that you keep putting off? Like, because I'm a procrastinator sometimes. You feel me? Hitting the gym? All right, no doubt. What's your name?
Sophia.
All right, Sophia, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Say hello to Sophia. Definitely this Manifest Those podcast. Thank you so much, all right?
I was you with them dreams and them scars in my sight. Chasing pride, almost died trying to bark when I bite.
Yeah, so that was Sophia. You feel what I'm saying? She said her goal was to get in the gym. Now, as I begin to think about her answer, I was saying to myself, well, I don't know if that's a big goal, which is to go to the gym. I know that could be maybe a stepping goal, right? But to some degree, I feel that there are people who have goals as far as like a certain size that they want to get to. They want to either put on weight or turn fat into muscles or get a particular shape or be at a certain, number or whatever the case may be. Because obviously we do know that it's not just getting to the gym, but it's your diet, and your discipline. Everybody can't be me and drink Pepsi. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, yes, you feel me? Yeah, that's exactly what it'd be. So she felt that, look, at the age of 18 should be good for somebody to be able to pursue a dream, because she understand that at that particular age, you should be conscious enough to know where I'm going in between that teenage, age and into going to your 20s, and to start to build some momentum in your finances and what is that you want to do if you could think that far. Some 20-year-olds, they just want to live their life, they want to have fun, they want to live their life, they want to, just chill and live in the moment in their prime. It's all right. But it's all right to live in the moment and still have, some type of goal that you want to face and stuff like that, So yeah. So again, like I said, success will give you fear because some people don't know if they are even prepared to be able to stay up at the top. And like I said, your success have nothing to do with being at the top. It is your journey. Now, here's the reason why some people fail to even want to pursue a dream, and that is because they're waiting until they feel ready. One of the things that I've learned about Mr. Coach Red Pill is that he says the difference between amateurs and pros is that amateurs, they do things only according to how they feel. But pros, they do things regardless of how they feel. No matter what, regardless of how they feel, that's when they do it. So whether they do it, whether they feel like it or not, they're going to do it. It could be a rainy day. They're going. It could be snowing outside. If it's open, they're going to pursue it. You feel what I'm saying? And that's because when people pursue their dreams, they understand what the intel goal is. It's not just to make it, but the reasoning behind it. So you don't ever really want to wait to feel like you want to do something. If you make a goal, and I oftentimes tell people this, right? It's the power of planning. And I want to show you, I'm going to look at you when I say this. It's always the power of planning. You can have a goal that you could pursue, but if you don't have a plan, to that particular goal, what do I mean? I don't mean just a yearly plan. I don't mean just a monthly plan. I don't mean just a weekly plan, but I'm also telling you about a daily plan. A lot of times there are people who are living their lives just to see where their life will take them within that particular day. And then if you ask them, what have you done today? They can tell you one or two things, but they can't tell you everything. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I remember interviewing Mr. Trey Trainey a long time ago, maybe about a year or two ago. And it was on It's Life. Oh, no, it was on Manifest Thoughts podcast. And if you go into the archives of our video, you'll see that it's the same way. I mean, he said something that was so profound. He says, Donald, I take documentary of everything that I do every single day. And the reason why I do that is because it is my guideline. It is my study guide to what have I done yesterday and how could I do what I done yesterday better today? And what have I missed today that I could anticipate doing tomorrow? That's number one. Number two, he says, there's nothing I can't tell you that I've done and how much money I've spent within a day, every single day, because I document everything and I keep everything, abreast. And he says, it's my study guide. Sometimes you don't need nobody to tell you exactly what you need to do better if you made you a study guide as to what to do every single day. And I'm going to tell you, when you have a plan, you'll also know that at least I didn't waste the day. I did everything that I wanted to do within this day. And I'm going to tell you, you have to know the difference between an assignment and a project. Because an assignment is, I got to wash the dishes, I got to take out the garbage, I got to mop the floor, I got to wash the clothes, whatever other things that you have to do, whatever other things, But at least those are small enough that you could achieve those within the day. Mop the floor, whatever the case would be. But a project is like, I go to that closet right there and I got so many things, so many papers, so many clothes, I got to sort through and throw some stuff out. That's a project, But if you write a list as to what you're going to focus in on that project, you could really double that. You could just chop those things down into being what they call, an assignment for the day. What do I mean when I say that? Well, let's just say today, I'm only going to not throw papers out, but I want to just gather all the papers that's miscellaneous inside of the closet, So no matter what clothes you see, no matter what things or objects you see, no matter what microphones or whatever, old pocketbooks you see, no matter what they look like, you're not dealing with those. The only thing you're dealing with are the papers in the closet. Then you'll set that aside. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, so tomorrow, according to this project, I'm going to deal with only random miscellaneous things. That's the pocketbook or an old key and some maybe souvenir or maybe old picture. You'll deal with those things maybe the next day. See, you're chopping the project down into assignments that you're able to achieve that particular day. You know how many people who start certain things and it run into the very next day because they don't have a plan as to what they're going to do and they don't feel achieved, And then here's another thing too. You could also master your day by saying, if I need to get this thing done by this time during the day so that I could end my day and still have some time for myself. I think that that's wisdom. It's not selfish. It's only wisdom, whether you know it or not, So some people will do certain things only when they feel like that they're ready to do it. I got all of that stuff out of that, out of feeling, waiting to feel like you're ready, And I'm going to tell you, when you do it that way, though, will make you feel more ready than you are. It'll make you feel like, nah, I want to attack this because I know how much of it I'm doing and I know how much energy to bring to it. I know how much I'm going to put into it. And I also know how much, what time I'm going to end my day, So if I give myself enough ample time, think of it this way. If you have a secular job and you got to be there at 7 o'clock or you got to be there at 8 o'clock, I think you should give yourself the same amount of time, to work on your projects when you're on your own time, to be able to end the day, so that you can still go shopping or still go to the movies, still go get your hair done, get your hair cut, still go get those sneakers or go do something that you want. And don't forget at the end of the day to always celebrate. You know what I mean? Nobody want to celebrate anymore. Celebrate the stuff that you've done. Celebrate the small wins, because once you get rid of it, once you do it one time, hey, guess what? You're done with it. And then you could move on with your dreams. So some people, they're waiting to see until they feel ready, in order for them to go and pursue their dreams. Every day you should write something down, about what it is that you want to pursue. Here's another thing too that will help you to procrastinate: overthinking. It's another reason why people don't want to pursue their dreams, because number one, they overthink certain things. Well, what if people don't like what I have to offer? What would people think? Listen, champ, this is your own life you're thinking about. This is your own life you're thinking about. This is you. Can't nobody tell you how to live your life. If you want to go and write "it's over" on your face and get it tattooed, I'm not recommending you do that. But I'm just saying, it's your life, and you'll be surprised at how many people get mad at the decisions you make about your own life when it have nothing to do with theirs. I remember I argued with one of my old colleagues about, doubling down or just cracking down on my phone. The quick fun fact about my phone: I don't have an iPhone. You know what I'm saying? This is not even an Android. This is a Rev, REVVL, Rev, whatever, Revel, whatever the case may be. It's a Revel, and I only pay $10 a month for my phone, which means that everything that Well, and except the fact that we have free amps and stuff like that it comes with, is the only thing I'm going to be able to use because it's a free situation here, although I'm still paying and I had to pay for the phone, right? But I'm not going to go out and pay. For me, $120 is too much to pay for a phone bill. That's where I'm at. Why? Because see, when you're on the road to reaching a particular financial goal of your own and personally, you have to think about what can I chop down in my life and act upon it immediately, effective immediately. You feel what I'm saying? In order that I'm able to achieve a goal that I'm going for, rather financially or something else that you want to do, right? And so you will make sacrifices. I had a friend that, I mean, he argued me down about, well, what happens if it don't come with Google Maps, and what happens if you get lost? I'm like, well, first of all, bro, I want to say I thank you for the concern that you do have for me. Thank you for that, you know? And it says, but I'm a 70s baby. I remember before we even had these things, we were getting along very, very well. Some things, couldn't happen until you got home. Like, people had to make sure they called you maybe more than 10 times a day to check and see whether you're home. Or if they knew your schedule, well, he'll be home about 5:30. I'll call him around 7, to give him the news, or whatever the case may be. Or she'll be around there. She should be there by like 5:30 because she get up at about 3 o'clock, whatever the case may be. And if you had an answer machine back in the days, you were balling. What? If you had an answer machine back in the days, that means that you could come home and actually listen to a voice message that came on that you weren't there for, because you didn't have to manually pick anything up. You were balling back then if you had that. Now today, we're so advanced where we have voicemail, we have text messaging, we have all types of things that calling, and it's wireless, not to make mention. You feel what I'm saying? Now we have cameras, and you have a whole desk, and you have a whole, office in your phone, all of these things. And all of a sudden now you're paying. And I'm going to tell you, I went to Target just the other day. I think I was looking for a bag for my tablets. Anybody who know me would know I carry my tablet everywhere because I don't like to carry a laptop. Some people might carry their phone over their tablet because it possesses the same thing. But I realize that the more and more space you have in a device, the more you can do things. You get what I'm saying? And so I'll never forget that there was a guy who says, listen, let me ask you a question. Do you have Optimum? Do you have Verizon? What do you have? What are the kids? I said, well, I have Optimum. He says, okay, well, I can help you out. I said, well, hold on, son. I said, look, I'm on my way of getting my first 1 million. And so at the end of the day, I don't really care about all of the amenities and stuff like that come with. I only pay $10 a month for my phone. He says, I was going to offer you something else, but you really don't care about it. I says, absolutely, champ. And not to be facetious or anything like that, but I have a goal. And I'm not going to overthink it. You get what I'm saying? The only thing I'm thinking about is the goal. That's it. You feel what I'm saying? So sometimes we can overthink certain things, and we can second guess ourselves only because we're not sure. Let me help you with understanding the cure about overthinking. You have to take a look at what your pain is. And I want to look at you when I say this, whether you know it or not. When I do live sessions, and sometimes when I'm in Elevate Circle and I'm doing a presentation, and by the way, I'm going to be doing that today, especially talking to the community that I do have and stuff like that, I oftentimes tell people, you have to take a look at, before you decide to pursue anything, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? There's so many people on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. They oftentimes tell you, if you're going to start a YouTube channel, you have to know your ideal audience. You have to niche down, and if you have particular like goals that you're going for, if you want to work for YouTube, you have to ask yourself, why do you want to do it? Ask yourself, who are you speaking to? What type of content are you going to be doing? Who were the people you talking to, at the present time, and all of that type of stuff, And I'm going to tell you, a lot of people have been capping when they ask stuff like that, only because they don't want to tell you what the real rules and regulations about that is all about. Let me tell you exactly what that means. That means that when you have a person who says, listen, if you're going to sell a product, if you're going to sell a digital product, you have to know, all of the people that you're selling to. You have to know where they hang out, know what they like, know what time they get up in the morning. That's cap. No, because a lot of those entrepreneurs, you know what they're talking about? They're only talking about the person that they used to be, and they know what they eat in the morning. They know what time they get up. They know what they like and they dislike. And they're only talking to people who might be like-minded like them, and the people who are just like them. And so that's the person or people that they're actually talking to and they're trying to channel depending upon what niche or niche you're actually in. And so when you overthink some things, you're not overthinking because of the fact that you're like, oh, you're not sure. Yeah, uncertainty is the thing. But here's the real deal. The reason why you overthink and you second guess the thing that you want to pursue, rather it's your own business, your own movie production, or whatever the case to be, is because your why is not secure. Everybody have to have a why, underneath whatever it is that they're doing. Every why have to be undergirding every what. I know what you're doing, but the question becomes, why are you doing it? You see what I'm saying? And here's the real deal. It's not because you want to make more money. No, it's not because you want a vacation and you don't want no boss and stuff like that, or whatever the case would be. But the real why, and maybe don't get it twisted. Maybe some of those things are. Maybe that is your why. And I don't want you to think that there's no why that's less than. No, but maybe you have a particular pain you don't ever want to face ever again. Maybe it's, I don't want to be at zero with my finances again. Maybe it's, I don't want no boss telling me when I can come and go, and when I can take a break and this, that, and the other. I don't want nobody telling me, oh, maybe it's the fact that you're sick and tired of getting up at a specific time, and, you're tired of just punching the clock or clocking in or whatever the case be. And of course, I understand that that's typical for some people, but real life situation have a lot to do with the fact that you're dealing with that even now. And you're like, it pained me to even think about. And you could argue where some people might say, well, you know what? They never told you not to fill out the application. Yeah, but you know what? Everybody don't have the luxury of going and working in a field that they want to work in. Maybe they're doing it because they're in survival mode. And I would never, ever want for anybody to pursue anything to some degree when you're in survival mode. But then on another half, maybe I need you to do it because you're in survival mode, because maybe you're painting just enough to be the person that becomes the pro rather than the person that is the amateur. Maybe you're like, look, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to be dedicated to what I need to do to get to the point that I need to make in order that I get there. You get what I'm saying? And so that's what it takes sometimes. And watch this. Before you know it, you're no longer overthinking. You're not overthinking. You're on a sure foundation because you understand the pain that you're facing, the pain of getting up in the morning, the pain of thinking I'm going to climb the mountain when I get to the job and somebody's going to notice the great work that I've done, or the pain of petty people. Oh, this is, maybe I'm going on a rant real quick, but I remember the pain that I had to face, petty people at work, who's trying to find a particular status by they're pretending to be friends for you or to you, but they're really stepping on your back when they're not around you and around a supervisor just to get up somewhere, or just to take a step. One of the things that I've learned, good people don't get hired. Let me just say this again. Good people don't get hired and they don't stay on the job. Because work ethic, when you want to pursue your dream, they're looking at, yeah, you're a nice person, but you ever wondered why that mean person stay on the job and they've never been fired? Because their work ethic outweigh any of the kind of characteristic traits that they do possess. You see what I'm saying? It's unfortunate that sometimes it happened that way, but this is the reason why that they stay focused, because they understand the game. They understand what they have to do. And in order for them to win, stay at my job, do a job, A-list job, stay on top of it, stay noticed, but keep effective. And that's good. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, if that's what you want to do, that's cool. But there are others of us who are like, listen, I'm tired of doing what I do and making other people rich, and they're taking all of these taxes off of me when I could be doing it myself. You feel what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. That's exactly the kind of person that's where I'm at right now with it, And so this is the reason why I'm glad to be able to have my own business, to be able to not only, support myself and my family, but I'm also there to support, other people who need what we do have. You feel me? And that's the thing that will stop you from overthinking. When you're looking at the pain point that will cause you to get up in the morning. Most people are like, I get up because I have children. That's your pain point. You don't ever want your children not to eat at night, or not have a roof over their head, or not have shoes on their feet. You'll struggle before your kids struggle. That's your pain point. So other people have pain points besides their children. Some people are like, I don't want to do X, Y, and Z, and that's not selfish. Some people are like, look, I want to achieve X, Y, and Z. And depending upon how much you want it will determine how much you'll no longer overthink, you know? But people overthink because they're not sure of their pain point and where they really want to go. Some people are perfectional. They want perfection, you know? Perfectionism is something that will sometimes kill. Sometimes you got to do certain things when things are not perfect. And one of the things that I've learned, you know, and one of the things that I've learned is that you don't have to be perfect. Blessings, my sis. God bless you. You know, you don't have to be perfect in order for you to start a business. You know, you don't have to be perfect in that, because perfectionism is something that's going to cause you to fail. Listen, there's a person that his name is Colin. I just met him downtown Brooklyn. And yo, let me tell you, this guy make colognes like never before. Oh, yo, Facebook, YouTube, let me know what you think. His name is Colin. Check this out real quick. Colin, the founder of Blue Torch, for more than 4 years been committed to something that started out as an idea. These aren't products that were just on a shelf in a factory that happened to roll over, but these fragrances were carefully crafted and built with intention.
Street lights flicker same way stars fight for their life. Mama stress heavy jumbo pressure.
Yeah, so Colin, he have a cologne stand, and it's called Blue Torch. And if you want to get in touch with them, it's www.bluetorch, that's BLUE torch TORCH .com. Go check it out. Yo, oh, you purchased from him too, sis? Oh man, let me tell you, I just met him just this past weekend, and I got like 4 colognes from this guy, you know. And again, we're not looking at now, like I said in the clip, it wasn't the fact that it smells so good, the oils and the perfumes and the colognes, but every intent behind every bottle that he had to make in order, to get to where they are today. And that's the beautiful part. Listen, there's a young man, I had asked this question. We're talking about dreams today. So I asked this young man, his name is Shaq, how old do you think a person should be before they are even able to follow a dream that they've once had or that they should have, And he says this, listen to this. This is so funny. I want y'all to see this. Let me take this guy off. Watch this.
Whenever you get your first girl, bro, that's the time.
That's right,
yeah,
no doubt.
Like right about it.
I know. Oh, it's new MTP.
New?
Yeah.
MTP?
Yeah. But you got any dreams of yourself?
My dream is probably open a hospital. That's my
Word?
Yeah.
Yo, respect, baby. Yo, Shaq, everybody. You want to open up a hospital. You know what I'm saying? Yes,
Pressure on your chest.
Definitely.
Every lesson feel like hunger, every win come with a test.
What's up, Facebook? So listen, Tips on YouTube, and she says, absolutely. He used to be in front of the Apple building downtown near BAM. Yeah, and that's exactly where I seen him, but he was in front of Atlantic Terminal, and it was so funny because when I went to, purchase from him, I gave him a big bill. He says, oh, I don't got the change right now. I says, where should I go? He says, oh, go over there to that taco spot right there, the taco truck. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool, not a problem. And so I did that. And before I knew it, I got an empanada. And now I had to do a review even on the taco truck. And again, see, it's okay to start your own business, start something. But let me ask you a question. When you start something and you start to build on your dream, the question becomes, why do you want to do that? Why do you want to build on your dream? And the answer is, it's because of wherever the pain point is. It's not, see, some people think that you have to be motivated, right? Motivating is good. Inspiration is good, being motivated. But can I tell you something? Motivation come and go. I see you on Facebook, see you, a shout out where you coming from, man. And again, motivation, is a great thing, but motivation is just like our feelings. And like Mr. Coach Red Pill says it like this, amateurs and pros, there's a difference between amateurs and pros, and that is, he says, amateurs, they do things only according to how they feel, but pros do things regardless of how they feel, and that's why it's so important to have what we call a plan, out of anything that we do. It's important that we have a plan, and so let's take a look at this. Perfectionism is something that will kill every dream. You can't be perfect, but do it, while you're not perfect. And if you take a look at Mr. Carlin, the way he have his setup, the way he have everything going. He didn't start there. Blue Torch did not start there. Maybe they start with 3 colognes, or maybe they went door to door, and now they're at a table. Before you know it, they'll be brick and mortar before you know it, and that'd be a great thing. But I know he's been there for such a long time. And as I begin to look on their website, go to their website, they're phenomenal. And I promise you, just like Miss Tiff on YouTube right now, y'all, she will let y'all know that his fragrances are out of this world, And I didn't even get a chance to find out what the name of the fragrances was. But when he sprayed it, I was like, I'm sold. Thank you. Give me a bottle. That's it. That's how it went. Then he gave me 2 other samples, and I came back and got those 2 bottles. So I'm just happy about it. That's amazing. The young man wants to. Yeah. Isn't that funny? And so, so let's get to Shaq real quick. Shaq says, I want to open up a hospital, And if y'all remember what Sophia said, she felt that she wanted to go to the gym. And I said, well, the gym is good, but I think that the bigger goal is to be able to be of a particular size, or you want to, double down on something. You want to, you want to turn certain things into muscle. What do you want? What is your goal there? But she had a very, very good point as to what she wanted to do. And if she said the gym, that's fine. Do it. If that's your goal, go for it. Every step count. And then Shaq is like, listen, man, I want to open up a hospital. He says that the best time or the best age to find, a goal or a dream to go after is when you get your first girlfriend. My thing was with Shaq, what happens if people don't have a girlfriend until about maybe 29? Bro, I don't think that because some people, they'll go on, their business and stuff. They have different focuses. Maybe it's not a family or relationship right then and there. But I don't think you should say, well, the first time you get your first girlfriend. But I understood where he was coming from, because everybody can only talk about their own experiences, and it's right or wrong is irrelevant. It's just that this is the ways of the world and the beauties of it, that people have their own perspective and their own why. I got one more. His name is Mr. Ant. And it was so funny. I happened to be walking around. Now, let me just say this real quick, y'all. And maybe I should say this after. But listen to my homie Ant real quick. Let me just revolve this, talk about professionalism. But take a look at this. Like I said, y'all, please go and pursue your dreams. Give yourself some ample time to accumulate your finances. Huh?
You streaming?
No, I'm not sure. Well, I'm going on live sometime tomorrow. What's your name, bro? Ant. Oh, you on YouTube also?
Yeah, I'm on Twitch.
Oh, you on Twitch? All right, no doubt. Yo, shout out to Twitch, bro.
My Twitch is squeeze.ant.
No, so let me ask you a question real quick, Ant. So we're talking about dreams, right?
Yeah.
What do you think the best time or age it is to be able to pursue a dream that you might have?
Best time or age?
Yeah.
I feel like any time or age, like any dream you have, you can achieve it whenever you want.
Wow. So do you have any big dreams yourself?
Yeah. Be the biggest dream ever.
That's what I'm talking about. And so are you pursuing that even now as we speak?
Yeah.
And is there any dreams that you're probably sort of like, procrastinating on?
Probably streaming.
Streaming?
Yeah, because I'm not like posting like my clips as much.
Got you.
I stream every single day though, so I'm consistent.
Got you. Well, look, bro. I mean, even when you don't feel like it, that's the best time to do it. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yo, thank you so much, bro. And so, shout out to your streams.
Yeah, squeeze Ant.
Squeeze Ant?
Squeeze, like
Squeeze Ant?
Yes.
At Squeeze Ant? Or
at Squeeze Ant.
Underscore and that like that?
And on Instagram is squeeze.ant. Yeah.
Got you. Yo, Ant, thank you so much, bro. All right? I told you, man, follow your dream, baby.
Every win never lasts, but the crown ain't giving, gotta earn that mask. Survive long enough, you become.
Yeah, so that was Squeeze Ant. He's a streamer. And it's so funny because I just watched his stream just about a few days, well, maybe about a day or two ago. Not a few days ago, but a day or two ago. And when I looked at him, excuse me, everybody, he was trying to get into what they call Streamer University. And that's hosted by this guy named Kai Cenat and DDG and all of these big guys and stuff like that. And he wanted to get into streamers, but he didn't have that much views and you don't have that much streams that's put up. So I says, well, maybe next year for you, bro. But at the end of the day, what I wanted for people to understand it according to their dream, some people think that it's just the way that they have to be perfected or have to have this perfection or have this connotation that I have to make it look better than what it is in order for me to get there. No. But one of the things that I've learned about Mr. Kai Cenat, Mr. DDG, and all of them who are YouTubers who are like millionaires. I think Kai Cenat is worth 20 million. Mr. DDG's 35 million. Mr. Marquise, I think 40 million, and they got this all on YouTube. But here's the deal, and maybe on Facebook. But I'm gonna tell you, even though you have some people who say that they got stuff on YouTube, I want you to know that it's not only on YouTube. I want you to know that it have all to do with what they've done outside of the YouTube situation, you know? And that's what it's all about. They did it outside of the YouTube situation. So they had more than just a YouTube channel. They had assets and affiliate marketing, you know, and other stuff that they've been doing behind the scenes that would make you think, because YouTube is not really paying that much and stuff like that. I'm a partner of YouTube. At the same time, I'm in the partnership program, and I'm getting a check because we're over 1,000 subscribers, and we're also over 4,000 watch hours. That's the only reason why that they hit me up and stuff like that. That's all. For me, you know, when you have a business of your own and stuff like that, you're really looking for leads and you're looking for clients. You're not really looking for views and subscribers. Those things are great, you know, if it come. But just like Kai Sinat and just like DDG, and I was telling my boy Ant, don't let YouTube be the final goal. You know, let that be the on the way situation, you know, because I'm telling people, listen, Kai Sinat's not going to be your savior to what you want to achieve on YouTube, although he is a millionaire and stuff like that. However, just like Kai Sinat, they allow for YouTube to be on the way to that while they were pursuing other things. They had bigger things, and they happened to just post their information up on YouTube, and that's how you make it. And if you don't make it in, I want you to also understand that it's not the end of the world. You could make it these days without anybody else. You know, you don't need to be with a particular person and or persons who are out there in order that you get to where you want to go, you know. And with that, you don't have to be perfected. You know, everything don't have to be perfect. So perfectionism will kill, you know, your dreams. You know, you have to sometimes start before you're perfect. And this will give people the chance to see your growth and to say, I remember where you started out, but look at where you are now. And every time that you do certain things, you're not doing it because of the fact that, oh, you fear of judgment. We're going to get to that. You're not doing that because of the fact that, you know, you just want people to see your growth. But when you start it, not everybody's going to see it anyway. You know, when you start the seed, not everybody's going to see it. You feel what I'm saying? So listen, some people have the fear of being judged. And that comes with almost any type of situation, any type of position that you hold. You're going to be judged on some level. You're going to have comparison. People are going to compare you to other people. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever started something? You know, you're like, look, I want to start this, you know, production company, or I want to start getting my own artists, people who sing, people who rhyme, or whatever the case may be. You want to start a collage of that, you know, but then all of a sudden somebody will come to you and tell you, well, you know, this person started, they've been there for 10 years. They've been doing X, Y, and Z. And you're like, that's cool. That's not me. I'm starting, you know, my thing, and I'm not going to compare my beginning to somebody else's middle. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times people, they'll come and they'll tell you what somebody else is doing, when even though your vision might be similar, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the same. You know, if I made a plate of spaghetti, you made a plate of spaghetti, I guarantee you, you know, it's going to come out different, although we have the same ingredients. You know, it's going to come out different only because, you know, we're just different people and we think differently. You might have more salt, I might have more pepper, you know, and if we were in front of a judge for people to judge our plates and our cuisine, you know, it's not about the fact that both plates aren't wonderful and good. It just depends on the people who are judging, you know. And if we get in front of a judge and you use more salt and I use more pepper and they preferred the person that got more salt, guess who won? You did. But if we had been in front of judges who wanted more pepper over salt, guess who won? I did. But does that mean that both plates are bad? No. Both plates are superb and A class. It just depends on the actual individual and what they want that would determine the winner that particular day. You feel what I'm saying? So listen, you know, don't be afraid to be judged, you know, because you're going to be judged. You're going to be compared to other people. All right. So what? That's good. That's also, and watch this. I'm going to tell you what I've learned from Ashton CEO, who's my ace. That's my dude. Ashton says, listen, if you see people who are in your niche and they seem to be getting more retention and traction than you, then what you ought to do is go into their community, see what they're doing. Don't go and steal their material, but just see what they're doing. See how they are approaching their people, you know, see what they're doing to approach their audience, you know, glean and be inspired by maybe something that you need to pivot or something you need to alter, according to your approach that might get more retention, not their material. Don't go around stealing stuff, but your material is just as good and what you feel is just as good. You just need to tweak some things, and maybe you might need to tweak some things and go and see what they're offering. Go and try one of their products, even though it's similar and even though you're an expert and they're an expert, be the student. And in fact, if you really want the key to real success and big dreams, always be the student. No matter what, always learn how to be the student. So being judged is not a bad thing, because one thing I've learned from Mrs. Adele Brown is there is bad judgment and there's good judgment. That's a woman. That's 70-year-old wisdom right there. You feel me? That's wisdom. So it's okay to be judged as long as you're being judged on a good level. They're good judgment, not bad judgment. Here's the last thing, lack of clarity. And that's the big thing. One of the things that I teach people in Elevate Circle, I tell them I'm not here to diagnose you anything. I'm not here to, tell you what you are and judge you and stuff like that. I'm only here to bring you clarity about what it is that we have to give you, And for those of them who've been really going on this anxiety spree, you just want clarity. And I'm not here to make you feel better. I'm here to make you better at feeling. That's all I do. So the lack of clarity is something that will be the joy killer. You can't explain to anybody anything about what it is that you're selling, anything that you're doing, where you're going, until you get clarity. And I would like, for lack of better words, for you to make clarity your first step. Be clear about where you're going. Be clear about what you're doing. Make clarity the biggest step. I've always wanted to be a public speaker. I've always wanted to be a presenter, always wanted to talk in front of people. And that's why I'm so happy. And I'm grateful to YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all these wonderful, platforms that would help you, give you that practice, Also happy about a community in which I'm about to go into that in a few minutes to share with them some of the stuff that I'm sharing with you, but on a different level because they're paid, they're paying and stuff like this. But at the same time, I am so grateful to be able to do stuff like this and to help other people, no matter how many people it reach, as long as it reach the people that we need or it need to reach, and the people that need what it is that we have to say. You don't want to reach everybody. You just want to reach the people that need what it is that you do have, And there's so many people who are so immature that they're like, I want thousands of people, but don't know how to handle thousands of people. Some people want big numbers for the sake of saying that they want big numbers, but nobody's given. And by the way, let me tell you something, people, anybody's going to review this video and stuff like that. These days, if you're going to sell a digital product, if you're going to sell anything, always remember, people are no longer looking for information. You can go to AI for information, but rather, for lack of better words, they are looking for transformation. Can whatever it is that you have to offer give transformation to the individual that you are speaking to, selling to, offering to, whichever way. Because there's a lot of people who are speaking things and preaching things that they themselves don't even live. They know nothing about transformation. They can't tell you how to stop cursing. They can't tell you how to stop drinking. They can't tell you how to stop getting anxieties and stuff like that, because they're still doing it themselves. Only a person who's gone through it can tell you how to get through it if they've come out of it. You feel what I'm saying? Guess where I'm going after this live broadcast? Because I have a list of what is it I'm supposed to do. I did 2 of those things, and I got 1 more to do, and I'm going to go get me some Carvel ice cream. Then I'm going to take me a nice little walk. You know what I'm saying? And have a good time with it. The other thing I want you to understand is that the key to following your dreams is learn how to be by yourself and achieve. I don't mean cut people off. Don't get it twisted. Everybody needs somebody and everybody needs people, But all I'm saying is that learn how to master boredom, learn how to master being by yourself, learn how to master, obtaining the muscles, of being able to hold substance and becoming substance, in order that you can help thousands and thousands and thousands of people. You see what I'm saying? And listen, let me ask you a question. Do you get anxiety sometimes by trying to, follow your dream? Do you sometimes, have the lack of clarity? Do you sometimes, feel like you're going to be judged? Do you feel like that in your mind you have the fear of failure or the fear of success, or you're doing stuff because you want to feel like that you're ready? You don't want to move into what it is that you want until you feel like that you're ready when you're already due. Are you an overthinker? are you afraid of perfectionism? Do you walk into the fact that you feel like you need to be, be perfected in order for you, or be perfect before you step into a certain genre in life? Do you have the fear of being judged? Do you have lack of clarity? I would love to help you out. I have, this community called Elevate Circle. And Elevate Circle bring people clarity. I have a 5-step system, that help people with existential anxiety, and people have been better. People have given me testimony after testimony after testimony after testimony, and our community and our network have grown all of these years. And I would love for you to hear some of the testimony, of some people who have been in Elevate Circle. Check it out.
Hi, my Elevate family. I just want to take this opportunity and let you guys know why you should join Elevate Circle. I have been fortunate to meet Donald through work, and I am telling you, that's like my brother from another mother. And then he introduced me to this wonderful platform where I could talk about everything and anything. And most especially, what I appreciate the most is the live broadcast, where we could just come, communicate, talk as a family, vent, get it off our chest. And I feel like for me, it's more of a free zone, judgment-free zone, a comfort zone where I could just pour it all out there, have others who feel the way that I feel just interacts with me, the love, the support. Like, it's a strong community overall. You won't regret joining it. I'm blessed and I'm fortunate to have joined this platform, and I just want to take the opportunity just to shout out to my man Donald, my brother from another mother, just to say thank you, and much love and respect. Thanks, bro. I appreciate everything that you're doing for us and this community, and I want you to just continue to do what you're doing and just be blessed. All right, love you. Mwah.
If you've been going through it or having some anxious thoughts, join the Elevate family. Come on here, grab some tips, watch some videos. It's not overwhelming. It's very easy to follow and understand. Join the Elevate family and see how it can help you.
Hey everyone, my name is Grace. Join Elevate. You guys won't regret it. Thank you so much, Donald, for this program. You are wonderful, you are appreciated, and you are loved.
Join the wonderful Elevate Circle community featuring the 5-step Elevate system and reclaim your freedom. You'll thank me later.
Yes, I'm the founder and I'm the CEO of Elevate Circle. And listen, if you want to join us, maybe you're a person who want to, pursue your dreams, but at the same time, you're afraid of how your mind will operate in the process of it. I'm gonna tell you, sometimes your mind will do certain things that you can't control, but you can control what you keep according to what your mind have to offer. And that's where we step in, honestly. If you want to, DM me, I'll leave a description. I'll leave a link in the description so that you'll be able to do just that. But Elevate Circle, it's a newly company that I've come up with, and I've been doing this and trying to pursue this for a very, very long time. Anybody who know me, when I had It's Life podcast, and then I moved to Manifest Thoughts podcast from It's All You TV. I still have those channels and stuff like that, but I have been searching on how could I create community, and how could it benefit, them and myself, so that I can help people for the rest of my life and not have to ever go to a particular job. And so I'm so happy about, the people that have come into that particular place and that they're visiting every single day in there, even right now. And I'm just so happy to be an entrepreneur as such. And so with that being said, I hope that you've enjoyed today's presentation. Listen, it's your boy, Donald Francis, whether you're on YouTube, give a shout out to my sis, so I so appreciate you for being on. I know you had to get on and get off. For anybody else who's going, look at this particular video and on the review, hopefully that you're encouraged to be able to, really, really face your dreams and pursue your dreams. There is no real age, that you need to become in order that you follow a dream. And also, stop putting off on your dream. Stop making excuses. Get up, start writing stuff when you don't feel like it. And I promise, when you look back at your work and what you've achieved, the time that you didn't feel like doing it, as opposed or comparison to the time that you did do certain things when you did feel like doing it, you will not see a difference. I promise you that, you know? And that's because, you know what, when you're passionate about something, I oftentimes tell you to listen, don't do things you like, do things that you love. Because no matter what 3 or 4 things that you have to do that you love or you have to choose from, you're going to always put your 101% in it because you chose something that you love to do over what you like to do. Get what I'm saying? Listen, I hope that you really, really enjoyed today's program and podcast and talking that video. I will be back again, you know, with more stuff as I get the time and the chance. I can't be up here all the time, but I will be so that I can talk to people and hopefully to show people what we've been doing here on Manifest Those Podcasts, you know, Elevate Circle, and also all other platforms and stuff like that. My Facebook family, good to see you. And I hope that all of you are encouraged. That's all I come to do is bring encouragement and good news. And hopefully I can help show you another way and a perspective that's going to help you to get the things that you want without it costing anything. With that, it's your boy Donald Francis. And until next time, peace.